Hey, good evening and welcome to Life Point. We're so glad that you're here tonight. So glad that you're a part of this group. And we are in week 5 of our Weird series. Been talking about some weird stuff. And we talked about weird faith, weird family, weird sex, weird truth last week. And today we want to talk about another weird thing. Jesus had a lot of weird things to say. They were truth, but they were weird. They're weird because they go against our culture and against the cultural norms. You know, Romans chapter 12, verse 2 says, "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." In other words, be changed. Come out of that. And 1 Thessalonians 4:3 says, it's God's will that you be sanctified, that you be set apart, that you come out of the flow or the group. And just, it's really means it's God's will that you're weird. So you're weird and it's God's will. But Jesus had some weird things to say. One of the weird things that Jesus had to say was that it's more blessed to give than to receive. Now, to a person who is kind of new to Jesus, that's a weird thing because our culture is very much geared to getting things and not giving things. And it's how we see stuff is so important. How we see money and possessions, how we view them is so important for us to understand. Because, see, God has a view of money and possessions. He's not afraid of money and possessions. He wants to entrust them to you, but He has a view of them, and He wants His view to be our view. He wants us to see these things like He sees them. But our problem in our culture, because we're programmed, we are targeted, man. We are marketed from the time we're young, we're little. I've been watching the kids around the church, and they all have these the little tablets or their parents' phones. And lately they watch these reviews of toys. It's crazy to see, but kids they're marketed like crazy to get this toy, get that toy. And if you just get this thing, it will make your life better, right? And we're the same target of marketers. Our toys are just more expensive, they're bigger, whatever. And so that's the culture we live in. We're constantly being targeted and marketed for stuff. And we're programmed to get stuff and hold on to stuff. And see, how we view money, how we view possessions is going to change everything. Proverbs 22:9 is the verse that we kind of used as the launch pad for the message. And it says that he who has generous eyes will be blessed. He who has generous eyes will be blessed. Generous eyes it's the ability for us to see the need, to see someone who needs to be blessed, and not just see it, but we take the step and do it. See, it starts with seeing it. If we can't see it, if we walk and we ignore it through life, and that's what happens a lot of times because we're focused on getting stuff. It's like, man, if I could just get that, or if I get this, but it's a whole different perspective. It's going through life saying, you know, that would be a blessing for that person, or that I see a need. I want to help meet that, or I want to help connect that person with the person who has the ability to meet that need. And so it's having a different set of eyes. It's viewing things differently than what we normally do. And that's weird. It is really weird. See, God sees money and possessions, one, as a tool. Money and possessions are a tool. It's a tool to bring about change in people's lives. It's a tool to fund ministry. It's a tool to bring people to life and be able to get the gospel to people, whether it's through missions or whether it's through the book that we sponsor. Here's a church, Dirty Little Secrets, whatever it might be that we're doing, but it's a tool. It's not something we hold on to. It's not something that we're going to be able to take to heaven with us. It's a tool that we can use. And so that's how God sees it. And He wants to give you the tools that you need to bless others. Another way God sees money and possessions is a test. He says, test me. Test me and see if I won't pour out the windows of heaven. But He says, it's a test. Will you put me first? Will you trust me? And will you put me first? See, it's a test. And so the next thing, the third thing that the way God sees money and possessions is it's a trust issue. Will you trust me? And if you'll trust me, He can entrust so much more to you. See, if God can get it through you, He'll get it to you. But the problem is we hold on to stuff. But He wants us to just kind of hold on loosely kind of just be that channel, that conduit that he can flow blessing through. And if we'll just let him flow through us, you'll be amazed at what God will give you. The questions we need to ask ourselves is, God, why have you given me so much? Why have you blessed me? I believe the answer is so that you can be a blessing to others. And then the second question is so important, it'll change your life. God, what do I do with the extra? What do you want me to do with the extra? Because at some point in your life, God will bring extra into your life. Might be this week, might be next week. And what will you do with that? Will you say, oh man, I can get that thing I've been wanting to get? Or you say, you know what? I'm going to bless somebody. If you'll bless somebody, then God can entrust you with more. I know you're going to have a great discussion. I know you'll have a great night. Already been a great night with your group. But man, I encourage you, pray for one another, encourage one another, be generous, because God's solution to our problem, the problem that we have is greed. His solution is giving. And then we got to get over that fear. Encourage one another, and let's take a step. Let's put our faith into action. You know, and as you discuss things tonight, maybe you can think among your group. Maybe you know of a need. You say, you know what, as a group, we're going to meet that need. We're going to do something. But let's put that faith into action. And let's not let it just be good intentions that stir up in our hearts, but let it be something that's real and tangible. God bless you, and have a great week.